What do a world-class medical center, a major metropolitan water system, and some of the most respected universities in the country have in common? Century bonds. Taxable bonds that are issued today but won't mature for 100 years. The idea of locking in today's very low interest rates, not for 20 or 30 years, but 100 years, along with deferring principal payments far into the future, has placed long-dated bonds in a new light and caught the eye of issuers across the country, many of which recently issued century bonds with Barclays on their investment banking team.
DC Water delivers safe, clean, reliable drinking water to the nation's capital, and we serve approximately 2.2 million customers in the greater Washington metropolitan area. The Clean Rivers Project is a massive $2.6 billion infrastructure project designed to solve a water quality problem. The core of the Clean Rivers Project is a deep tunnel system underneath Washington, D.C. Once we finish construction on these tunnels, they are engineered to last for 100 years. The financing problem that we were challenged with is how do we finance this program over a 200-year time span? And our solution was to issue 100-year green bonds. Barclays was there with us every step of the way. They helped us to not only craft our message to our board, but also to deliver that message to the rating agencies as well as our investors.
We've been fortunate at Barclays to have managed more century bond transactions than any other bank, including 15 of the 20 largest century bonds that have been issued. We do such a good job on century bonds that the 3 most recent transactions had taxable interest rates of less than 5%, 100-year debt at inside of 5%. Pretty amazing statistic. Our Muni desk understands Muni issuers' needs. We understand what these buyers are looking for in terms of structure, in terms of security features, and we really do think we've had a positive impact on our issuers' borrowing costs as a result.
Redefining century bonds is one more innovation in a long history of innovations at Barclays. We're proud to serve a growing list of century bond clients who are innovators in their own right and have the history to prove it. Barclays and century bonds. It's about time. Orange County, California, 40 miles south of Los Angeles, 60 miles north of San Diego. With more than 3 million residents and a workforce of 1.5 million, it's the 6th largest county in the nation. Add to that, 48 million visitors a year making their way from across the country and around the world to visit miles of beaches, the Disney Resort, pro sports teams, the largest convention center in the western U.S., and South Coast Plaza, the most successful retail center in the world. Getting those millions of residents, workers, and visitors to wherever they're going 24/7 requires the largest, most advanced freeway, transit, and toll facility network in the country. And the Orange County toll roads, the first modern-day toll roads in California, are a 51-mile critical link in that network. But the steady growth in transactions and revenues on the Foothill Eastern in recent months also indicates that the Great Recession is in the county's rearview mirror. With an unemployment rate of 5.8% in October 2013, according to the California Department of Economic Development, the lowest in Orange County since 2007. Another positive influence on ridership is the strong recovery of home building in the region and the state, arguably California's most powerful economic engine. Ridership has also been strengthened by an aggressive marketing campaign in both print and broadcast media.
Just how much time could you save every day driving the toll roads? It's wide open.
In 2014, the toll roads will become all-electronic toll facilities, making them more user-friendly and reducing operating costs. It's one more innovation from an agency that was born from innovation, like implementing the vehicle identification and toll collection technologies that are the national standard today. As the Foothill Eastern enters its 3rd decade, the indicators are positive and the view is decidedly clear.
17 stories high, over 1,000 feet long, 300 feet wide, each with a floor area of 5 acres under one roof. The Tustin hangars are two of the largest wood structures in the world. Who built them, and why? The answers are not hard to understand, and they all lead back to one Sunday morning a long time ago. And almost entirely of wood, since every available piece of steel was being consumed by the war as fast as it was produced. The Navy chose a designer engineer from within its own ranks, Arsham Amarikian, principal engineer of the Navy Bureau of Yards and Docks. Amarikian was an Armenian immigrant and a highly respected engineer known for his innovative designs and creative construction methods using timber and precast reinforced concrete. Amarikian's innovative design called for a soaring, barrel-shaped roof made up of 51 parabolic wood trusses spaced 20 feet apart. Each truss was pre-assembled to careful specifications, then mounted on flatbed railroad cars and rolled into place. The trusses were hoisted into position with steam-powered cranes, then bolted to massive concrete footings. With so little margin for error, a remarkably accurate working model of the hangars was built to allow a test run of every step of the construction process. Building each hangar consumed 2,719,000 board feet of lumber, 10 acres of plywood sheathing for the roofs, 79 tons of bolts and washers, and 30 tons of ring connectors. Cut into 1-inch strips, the lumber used for each hangar would create a track that stretched from Los Angeles to New Zealand, about 6,800 miles. The finished product was a structure that was 1,000 feet long, 17 stories high, and 300 feet wide, with over 5 acres of unobstructed space beneath one roof. The Tustin hangars were, and still are, two of the largest freestanding wooden structures ever built. But one of the ironies of naval aviation history is that by the start of World War II, the giant blimp hangars being built and rushed into service across the country were already obsolete. Amarikian's design was created years earlier, in the 1930s, and was intended to house giant Hindenburg-class airships. But after the Hindenburg disaster at Lakehurst, New Jersey in 1937, airships of that size were phased out. By the 1940s, nothing in the Navy's airship inventory needed hangars as large as Amarikian envisioned, and each of his hangars could house up to 6 of the Navy's World War II-era K-class blimps. But the Navy moved forward with Amarikian's original design in the interest of time. Then and now, the size of the Tustin hangars is the first and last impression on everyone who sees them. And the speed with which the hangars were built was as impressive as their size, each taking only 9 months to build. In March 1942, a Los Angeles engineering firm was commissioned by the Navy to use American's design with modifications to build the Tustin LTA station and its enormous hangars.
The firm that was selected to oversee the modifications necessary was Holmes and Narver. My dad was Lee Narver. I'm David Narver, Jr., born in 1920, August. We knew American because he was a famous structural engineer, and he did the basic design for all of them. And it wasn't until we came to Tustin that we found out that basic design would not work because of the water table being so high.
All the lumber used for the hangars, over 2 million board feet of it, was Oregon Douglas fir, treated with metallic salts as a fire retardant. At each end of the hangars are the massive door openings, framed by a pair of reinforced concrete towers some 145 feet high. The towers support an overhead box beam from which the door panels are suspended. There are 6 door panels per opening, each 120 feet high and 37 feet wide. The rolling doors open at the center and are guided and moved on rails by electric motors. The hangar floors were also a massive undertaking. The floors were made of 5-inch thick, unreinforced concrete slabs of 400 square feet each. The trolley beams in front of each catwalk were designed for rolling winches capable of lifting 5,000 pounds along any point of the 1,000-foot-long track. Long rows of offices and maintenance shops ran along the base of the hangars, including utility rooms and restrooms. As soon as the Tustin Naval Air Station was operational, it wasted no time in establishing its military aviation credentials. A flight crew from the Tustin base made a perfect landing on an aircraft carrier in the Pacific and performed the first ever onboard airship refueling. These giant wood titans of history touched the lives of thousands of military and civilian personnel over more than 7 decades. From the day they opened their massive doors, the Tustin hangars have served as architectural icons in Orange County and historic landmarks in United States Navy and Marine Corps aviation.